Hello folks, welcome to this video. In this video we'll be doing a fun activity kind of thing, or we can say a tweak kind of thing with Docker, and we will see how you can launch the GUI applications inside the Docker container, because we have seen that while we launch Docker containers, we will be getting the CLI version, like the command line interface of the OS. We don't get a GUI form. So how can we launch the GUI application, let's say like Firefox, or in this use case, in this video we will see Jupyter Notebook. Like we can take a little bit real life example, right? Because we might need Python IDE like Jupyter Notebook, or let's say even gedit, it's a text editor in the Docker containers to write code in a very friendly manner. So let's start this video, and first of all I'll show you that how we can do it and what the command is. I have already created that image and I have pushed in the Docker Hub. You can directly download it. So let's begin, and I'll first show the demo, so you will come to know that what exactly we are trying to build. So for that, for launching any Docker container, we usually run this command, and rm tag is to remove after the usage, so we don't need to run docker rm command after stopping or exiting the container. Then we can give the environmental variable. Let's say in Windows we set environmental variable from the control panel, right? So this is a way we can set environmental variables in of the Docker containers. So what we are doing, we are supplying our Red Hat display variable to our container display variable. So it contains a value which will tell which GUI function or which GUI screen to use to launch the GUI application. So we have passed it. Then we need to attach a volume. It is in the temp folder, and I think so, if I am not wrong, it's x11. Now x11 is a function, or let's say is a property through which we can run the GUI applications from any system, like let's say remote system, or in our case a container. And we need to mount it in the same place, because actually we are sharing it. Like this is kind of sharing the resource of our host system with our container for running the GUI applications. And finally we need to set the network. Now as I told you, we are sharing things between the host and the container, so our network card should also be same. Now what I mean by network card, my adapter for Red Hat should be same as the adapter for the container. So if you want to create an architecture like that, then we can mention this network as a host. By default it is bridge. If you normally run docker it commands or any container launch command, then it by default keeps here instead of host it is bridge. So it gets a different network card, like a virtual network card, which actually subnet our IP and then give it. And finally our image, which is Shubham, my name, and Jupyter Notebook, and hit enter. So it would be launched and we will get this terminal. So as we are inside the terminal, and you can see now how we can differentiate that whether I am like which network I am using. You can clearly see that I am inside the container, but my host name didn't change in the terminal. It's still base root localhost. Why? Because we are sharing resources and we shared our network host. If you don't write it, if it is bridge, then you will get something else here, like root at some number and then your shell. But I can show you that this is inside the container. Like how can I prove that? If I open a new terminal and if I do ls here, so this is my actual directory which in my Red Hat, but what we are seeing here is a completely different thing, right? Why? Because we are inside container but we are sharing resources. just for running GUI applications. Now if I run Jupyter Notebook, which is a basic command for opening um, um, Jupyter Notebook, so what it will do, we will have the Jupyter Notebook running in from the container, but we will see it on our Red Hat system. Just a minute, it will come up. Yes, so now you can see that we are inside the Docker container and we are getting the Firefox and the Jupyter Notebook from the container. And now we can create anything, like I can create a new Python file and start writing the code. So this is what this is a simple trick which we can do. And now I will show you how you can make your own image like I have made. And that's very simple, I can say, and very easy to make. Now I have exited and I don't have that container even running in background because I use the rm tag. Okay, so let me show you how we can do it. So first of all, just launch any container. I am very familiar with CentOS, so I'll be using CentOS 7. So once we are in here, we need to install some packages. Let's say I want to run Firefox as a program, so obviously I need to install Firefox. So install the Firefox, and some few more softwares also will need, and I'll tell you which softwares we are using and why we are using it. In this installation process, it might take some time in other software also because they are a bit bulky, we can say. So let me explain that which all softwares we will be needing next. So we will be needing libcanberra GTK2. Now what this module, what this package will help us do is it provides the facility for the GUI purpose. Like let's say if you are installing an OS, let's say Linux itself. So first of all, it's just a kernel, and then we have to have the genome, or let's say the softwares which provide the GUI version over it. So libcanberra is a library, or is a package which we will need to provide the basic building blocks for GUI. And the next package would be package kit GTK3 module, which actually supports this. It is a kind of dependency which we will be needing. Even you can say right now it is installing some kind of GTK2 packages and GTK3 packages in Firefox also, but we need it even extra to support it. So let's wait to install this first, and we'll install these two libraries then. Once we have that, then our task is done. Then we simply have to install Jupyter Notebook if you want, or else any other GUI package. So just wait for a minute, and yeah, we'll now install the libcanberra first. So it's libcanberra, I think says double RA, libcanberra GTK2. If I'm not wrong, then let's see. Yes, it's the right name. And then we have a package kit GTK3 module. It is P capital package kit K capital GTK3 and module. Yes, so it's also completed, and finally we'll download wget. Now wget is a a tool, a command line tool, to install the applications or packages over the internet with help of a URL. So we'll download it using this the download link of Anaconda. So we'll use wget https. Let me check the URL, anaconda.com/archive. Then the main name starts, it's Anaconda is Anaconda 3 2021 version with 05th latest version of Anaconda on Linux based system, and I have an x86 64 architecture, and it's a shell script. Yes, so it has started downloading. It's a bit big software, as we all know, Anaconda, so it would take some time, and then we will have an shell script for it, and we just need to run it using bash, and our installation process would start. So in some programs we have a installation procedure, like some agreements to be agreed and some interaction it need, like yes no type of thing. So that same thing we need to even perform with Jupyter Notebook. So this installation process will take some time, and so just let's wait for it to complete. Otherwise, I have explained how you can run the command. Like after the final package, I've already made it, and you can pull it from Docker Hub. So I think so my image name is let me show you. Yes, it is Jupyter Notebook after my username of the Docker Hub. You can pull it and use it as I showed you earlier how the command goes. And right now I am just teaching you how you can create it by your own, like the images like you need these two libraries which I installed, and any GUI application which you want. In my case, I'll be installing Firefox because I need Firefox, a web browser for running Jupyter Notebook. So finally we are having the script, and we will execute it using the bash. So it would enter, this is the whole agreement part. After it will ask yes or no. Put yes and then enter, and this would take some time because it will unpack, or let's say unzip or unload the program in our container. And finally we'll have to once again, I think so, give yes to finally install it. And then we need to activate the Anaconda by using a command. It's actually, it would be stored in a dot in the root directory. There's a file called bash rc which is hidden, so you need to use .bash rc, and anything you write in that would be launched at the creation time or at the boot time of the OS of the system. So if you write it in a container, then while creating the container, that file will see, like the grub will check whether any entry is there, and if it is there, it will execute it and then give us the final terminal. So at every start we will have Anaconda environment ready. So for that we need to run one command. It's source space .bash rc. It is taking more than usual, but let's wait. Yeah, it has started extracting. Now it would be in no time. And for making the image out of any container, in my previous two videos on Docker, I have told you that we can use two ways to create an image. One is the commit command, docker commit, and another one is using the Docker file. but we, somehow we cannot use Docker file here because we need to interact with this Anaconda installer, like the right now as we are interacting. So Docker file is actually a code type of thing, and running that code would create the image. So it's a bit hard to do it. We can do it, we can use Docker file, but then we need to manually manually do the configuring the each and every file of Anaconda. So that would be very difficult for us. Finally, we will just run this command, and everything would be done. It is -rc. Yes, so now Anaconda is activated and running fine, and our container is ready. So now what we'll do, we will take the name of it. So I didn't give any name, so we'll see what name it has by using docker ps. And finally we'll use docker commit command and the container name to make image out of the running container. So if we do it, and sorry, we now need to give the name. So for this I'll just give Jupyter notebook, because I already made it. This is just for demonstration purpose to make you guys know how we can do it. Finally it will make an image called Jupyter notebook out of this running container. And finally we will execute the same command as I showed you earlier for my image, but just we will replace the my image name with Jupyter notebook, which is we are making right now, and everything will be fine, like everything work as same as we want. So once we make an image out of it, we don't need this container. So finally I'll exit from it and I'll show how you can launch the container from this same image. It is taking some time because after installing such packages, it is around, it's around it would be in GBs if you check the size, because I think so Firefox and the two libraries which we installed with Anaconda, it actually makes it a bit bulky, but it's fine because instance would come up in just no time, right? And it would be in some seconds, like I think so 1 or 2 seconds it will come up, the whole container with the Python ID. Sorry, Jupyter notebook, with Jupyter notebook. Yes, so it is done. So let's exit it, and once I exit, it would automatically be removed because I used rm tag. Now we don't need this, we already make an image out of it. So we are done, and let's wait for the shell to come up. Once it is, I'll launch the container which we created right now. So as I showed you that this is the command, but now our image is which we made just a few seconds ago, it's Jupyter notebook. So just for checking, I'll use tab. Yeah, so this is the name, and if I run it, I'll get a shell, and you know that it would be the same shell because we are sharing resources. And I'll run the same command Jupyter notebook and allow root, and we will see that from the container we are having the Jupyter notebook started, and we can use this GUI which is actually in a container. So this is how you can make your own container which can launch GUI applications. And finally you can push it to Docker Hub, but I have already done it, so you can directly pull it and use. And finally one more command to delete any image. I have Docker, I have many images, so one of the latest one which I made is Jupyter notebook, So if I want to delete this Jupyter notebook, the command is docker image rm, let's and the name, and it would delete the image from our local system. Yes, so now we have deleted it and we won't see that image again. Yes, so I already have this made and it's on the Docker Hub. You can pull it and use. So thank you for watching this video. Take care.